Okay, so I heard about this one. It's fucking hilarious. I didn't watch it yet, but this is some vegan thing that was mad about Asmongold eating meat. I just found it funny. I saw a little bit of it. I saw like a clip, like a was like 30-40 second clip by Asmongold, and I was like, okay, I have to see the whole thing. There's no way.
Those videos where I reach out to someone who's heaps and bounds more popular than I am, in the hopes that maybe miraculously I might reach them, or at least some of their audience.
Apparently you reached.
Today it's about Asmongold. Asmongold is a popular streamer. He's known.
I wonder why I don't see anyone who's like, man, these people are eating vegetables. I'm gonna make a video and try to reach out to these like massive public figures to tell them that eating vegetables is not as good as eating meat.
For his gaming and his more mature takes on things. And I'm hoping that with his maturity, I could shed light on something that in the future will definitely be seen as more of an atrocity than it is.
He's not as mature as you think. He's mature when it comes to his like to business, but he's not mature about. I mean, I guess he is mature at the same time, but it's like if it's something he finds ridiculous, you're not gonna get like a mature or like an honest conversation out of him. He'll be like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And he'll just troll you and like move on.
Today, there's two videos I saw by Asmongold.
If he disagrees with you, like on a principle level,
clip where he was with Maya, who's like a wildlife conservationist who has talked badly of veganism before. I've done a video on her before, and I will link that down below.
Boys, today we have
Maya talked negatively about veganism, really?
Very special part of the show.
I mean, I don't care, but like, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised about it.
No longer in game, in real life. We're here with Maya and also her friend, and they're going to be showing us a number of these wild animals. And I am, honestly, guys, I'm really excited.
Not gonna lie, bro. I don't care about pretty much anyone OTK. Like, I like Asmongold, don't get me wrong, but I have no idea about, first of all, about anyone OTK, and second of all, about like why even anyone watches it. But at the same time, I also don't watch Asmongold. Like, I don't understand watching a stream full on. Like, I understand, like, you know, hopping in, you know, seeing what's up and leaving, I get it, but like a full on stream is weird for me.
And he is an eastern fox squirrel. Wow.
I can't believe it. It's a real squirrel, and he's in the house.
So this is a guy who seems to have an incredible interest in animals. He seems to want to...
No, he has not an incredible interest in animals. He made one video with animals, and he had to put on some show that says that he's interested in animals. Like, oh my god, it's a squirrel and it's inside the house. That's clearly him trying to be funny. That's not him be like, oh my god, I so want a squirrel in my life. No, that's not it.
Respect them or care for them, you know, at least understands that they are these individuals, and you know.
No, that's not what it is. It's like he understands it is life and he's not gonna abuse it straight up. But doesn't mean he doesn't want to eat it. He's not gonna eat the squirrel, but doesn't mean he doesn't eat meat. It's not like you buy meat and you think about the animals that died for you to get this meat. Right, you don't think about the McDonald's farmers. It's like
they're at risk and need to be cared for. Then the other videos.
Yeah, they're living beings. Guess what? Vegetables also need to be taken care. Like, you need to take care of vegetables and stuff like that. You need to flower. You need to like water them. You need to have decent heat for them. Right. Like, so you have like the hot houses, whatever they're called. Right. The whatever the fuck, forgot the name. But like, yeah, like, so maybe we shouldn't eat vegetables too because you have to care for them, you know?
Problem was a recent video where he was cooking up a steak.
Hell yeah, brother.
So I've wanted to do this for a while. A lot of people have asked for it, and we're finally gonna do it. Today, I'm gonna show you all how I cook a steak.
I think it's really
First of all, It's a disservice to steaks. Before it's a disservice to vegans.
Interesting how on his wall he has a horse in like a calendar. I do
Yeah.
wonder how he'd feel if that steak were comprised of a body of one of those horses, or maybe the horse in that.
If it tasted good, who cares? Like, it's a beautiful animal. But if the meat tastes good and someone else killed it and made the meat for you, it's like, it's food. It's like, what?
That picture, would it maybe make him feel some different type of way?
No.
Or better yet, maybe
No.
if that were the corpse of a Rottweiler or some dog, or if it were
But-
comprised of the bodies of some of the animals he had a chance to.
It's like saying, it's the differentiation between caring for a stranger and caring for a loved one. In a psychopathic way, they're all the same, sure. But it's like, no, you have a relationship with somebody you know. You don't have a relationship with somebody you don't. Right? I'm not waking up every morning crying about all the kids that are dying around the world from like when it's not even their fault. It's like other people. I'm not waking up every morning crying that babies are being kidnapped and shit like that. But if my baby was kidnapped, which I don't have, by the way, yeah, I would probably wake up every morning crying and trying to figure out what to do about it. That's like, what a weird comparison. It's like, well, what if it was a Rottweiler? Does he know the Rottweiler? Was it his Rottweiler? Right? It's like, is it his animal? Is it somebody who he knows animal? Right? It's like, whose pet is this? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, then whatever. Do I know the animal at all? No, then whatever. I'll eat, like, whatever. It's food. Not that I'm eating dogs or anything,
interact
but...
with, would he feel somewhat differently? I understand that this is something that we see as very normal, very necessary, something that's just kind of part of life. But if we genuinely take the time to think about it, there is no relevant moral difference between these animals and the animals who you would.
Then there's no difference between, if you, like, I'm not attacking this person in that regard, right? But there's also no difference between your parents and somebody else's parents. Why don't you love them the same as you love your parents? Or your sisters or your brothers? Why don't you love other kids like you love your own kid? Why would you protect your kid over protecting other people's kids? It's such a weird
value
comparison.
That would mean some of them you can just kind of.
Not
slip
all
through.
animals are the same. Not all animals are the same. I'm sorry, my cats are way more valuable than other cats to me because they are my cats. I love them, I care for them, I feed them, and I clean their shit. They're my cats. So if I see a stray cat who's like dirty and shit like that, guess what? I'm probably not gonna approach it. Fear of rabies, you know? Fuck, man.
Not gun them in the head. You can kind of do what you want to them in order to make a steak out of them.
But I do take pictures of every single steak that I cook. I cook the exact same steak every single time,
Respect.
and I take a picture of it at the end. That way I remember how good it was.
It's really weird how he's just kind of talking about the steak like it's an object.
Because
not
it is.
a body
The
part.
steak, it is an object at that point. It's food. How do you talk about your salads?
If he were taking a body part out of a fridge, but it weren't from a cow and it were from like a dog or a cat, then suddenly we'd view this very differently.
No, well, we would view him as being disgusting for eating a dog or a cat, but some people around the world do that, right? And that's just a cultural difference. But no one would view him as eating a different type of meat for being a different type of meat. Like, what? They're all objects, the objects that you eat. The meat is not alive. I don't know, like, I don't even understand what she's talking about at this point.
And the public response would be incredibly different. Hello, this is a more recent version of Vegan Gaze. Reporting in because I found a video by Asmongold talking on an instance where a streamer got a cat, threw them over their chair, and fed
Yeah.
them vodka. The kind of claim that I made about Asmongold caring about animals.
Yeah, but that is a live animal, not a dead piece of meat.
I don't know with this clip. I feel like maybe other people.
It's like saying like people who care about animals should not eat animals. It's like saying it's like, well, it's like so ultimatum kind of thing, which is like, well, if you're religious, that means that you're full-on religious. You can't just be like half religious. Like, if you believe in God, that's it, man. Sunday is church. Yeah, if you're Jewish, like you cannot have milk with like dairy and meat products together. You have to separate them in your fridge. Heck, even have 2 different fridges. You have 2 different sinks to wash your meat and your dairy. It's like, just because you believe in God. That's how insane her take is.
Watch the video, but you seem more interested in the fact that people were probably mad about it because of who was doing it, and not so
No, anyone who would throw a cat. And by the way Alinti threw her cat, it didn't really bother me. As a cat owner, I know that didn't really do anything for the cat, unless the cat already was old and had like arthritis or some shit like that. If it was a young cat, I don't remember how old the cat was, but it's like that throw of the cat was, you wouldn't throw a human being like that, but the cat is not going to get offended. The cat would probably just jump on her right away again and think it's a game, okay? The way she threw the cat was not that mean. However, people took it like way out of proportion. By the way, I don't like Alinity. I don't think the cat was like thrown in such a haphazard way that's like, it's super fucking dangerous for the cat. Unless the cat already had some problems, right? And I don't know about the vodka stuff. If she fed him vodka, that's big no-no.
thing being done itself. And though that is kind of true in a sense, people we dislike a lot more, we're more motivated to call them out when they do something we don't like. I found it a bit weird. He was quite nonchalant about the concept of an animal being harmed. And another thing that was...
But was the animal harmed though? Was it harmed though? As far as I know, there was no harm done to the animal. It just looked mean, because if you treat animals like humans, a lot of things we do to animals is mean if you treat them like humans, but they're not humans. They're animals. Right? Go up to other human being and start petting them, see what happens. They're gonna feel like you're looking down on them. Meanwhile, an animal loves being petted.
Kind of bizarre was that he pointed out that for him, the worst part
Also,
is
what
the
is
double
this?
standard. That's the bit that gets to him most.
If you threw a cat on stream and it fed it vodka, I would want you banned. Yeah, I'm sure, but like, I don't know. I guess to me, this is like a weird thing. People are gonna get mad about it. I don't care about this issue.
True.
I really don't.
True. Yeah, it's not an issue that he's interested in. Yeah, I get it. He doesn't know the cat personally. I don't know at this point if he even knows Alindy in person. And it's not entertainment that he is actively, consuming. He doesn't care.
So I mean, you can be mad about that or whatever, but I don't care about the issue.
Yeah.
I think people only really like, the only thing I would be worried about is like a double standard.
He even then points out that some people, people will love animals and then they'll eat.
And the reason he cares about the double standard is on a principle level, not because of that. That also shows that he knows animals are being harmed in China, okay? Everyone's seen the videos of like animals in cages in China and shit like that. He's probably not actively doing anything about it. He doesn't care about it. It doesn't have anything to do with his life. It doesn't affect his personal life. If someone asks us like, well, do you think it's right? It's like, no, it's not right. It's evil, and fuck those people. But it's not something he's gonna waste his time thinking about. That's not part of his like things that he cares about. It's so weird to think that people super care about everything. Hey, do I want equality for all people? Do I want everyone to live happy and shit like that? Yes. Am I going out of my way to make sure that this happens in other parts of the world where there's like civil wars and like people are like always getting kidnapped and killed and murdered? And I'm not even talking about far, like just look at New York, right? It's like, am I doing anything about it? Am I fucking vigilante? No, I'm like, I don't care about it that much. Like, do I think it should be? Yeah. Am I gonna go out and act on it? No, fuck that. Life is too short to care about everything like this. But if you do, that's also fine. I don't care if you care about it also. Go ahead, you do whatever you want. I personally don't want to do it. Neither does he.
Those people.
If you want to say that, right? I think that people should at least be consistent and say that, you know, okay, well, I don't like any animal abuse. But I don't know. To me, as I said, it just seems
Ooh,
like
rest in peace.
people only care about animal abuse whenever it's an animal that they think is cute.
Yep, this is true.
And they're fine eating other ones. And obviously, like, the thing is that
True.
I don't really think that I'm probably the best person to base your morality off of. But I think people just care about the double standard more than anything.
So he's engaging in a double standard. Yet that seems to be the thing he's more focused on when someone does something to an animal.
What's his double
I don't
standard?
know. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. That's why I've said before. You overestimate the amount of animal abuse going on? No, I don't think that I do at all. I think that all kinds of people do stupid shit like that to their animals.
He
Yeah.
says, oh yeah, loads of people do stupid stuff to animals. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe loads of people do bad things to animals. It doesn't make it okay just because loads of people do it.
Yeah, and he doesn't say it's okay. But he's not going out of his way to look for these people and report them to the authorities.
I found watching this quite uncomfortable, and I'm not really
Don't
prepared to
watch
just
it.
say that he flat out doesn't really care about animals, you know, on this clip alone. But it did make me feel a certain type of way about his concerns.
I don't really care, personally. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal to me.
Yeah, that's all it is. He doesn't lose sleep over people abusing other animals or people abusing other people. It's not something that is on his mind. Does it happen? Yes. And that's it. Like that's all there is to it. Does it happen? Yeah, okay, cool. It happens. Like, fuck, it sucks. Okay. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It doesn't happen near him. He's not surrounded by people who do it and he's okay with it.
It doesn't affect me. It has nothing
God.
to do with me.
Yeah.
And that's basically all.
He
there is to
doesn't
it.
have
Maybe
animals.
I'm like a weirdo for this, but I really just don't give a fuck.
And I
Yeah.
will say, yes, the double standard is frustrating. It is something to be focused on. And it's something that you're also engaging in. So if you do have a problem with it,
How is he engaging with it? He doesn't care about it.
then why are you, you know, eating a steak? Maybe he's
Okay. Abusing an animal and killing an animal in a humane way in order to eat it are completely two different things. Also, killing an animal in a non-humane way with like torture and shit like that actually makes the meat way worse because of all the hormones that are released with the amount of damage you do to the animal. So if the animal doesn't know that it dies and just like dead, that's probably the best way for the animal to like fucking like for the meat to be eaten, you know? Like do you not know anything? Jesus Christ.
he's taking the feigned destiny position where he's acting like he just doesn't care about animals at all. Therefore, it's fine to exploit.
It's not that it doesn't care about animals at all. It doesn't care about animals that have nothing to do with him. He doesn't care about animals that he doesn't see. Out of mind, out of sight.
But if he would go down that route, would it be fine to exploit and kill humans if you didn't personally care about them? I'm assuming you think that humans should be treated a certain way. Does that
Oh my god, bro. Exact same argument I've been saying. Humans should be treated a certain way. Yes. Animals should be treated a certain way. Yes. That what alienity do is the same as torturing humans or torturing animals. No, that's it. That's all it is. There's a little threshold you have to pass between like actual animal abuse and just doing something stupid to your animal where the animal wasn't even harmed.
align with other animals? And if not, what is the
Should parents stop throwing their kids in the air out of happiness and then sometimes like, you know, they accidentally drop the kid and breaks a leg or some shit like that, which by the way happens, but a lot of parents still, like especially dads, still throw their kids up in the air. Why? Because also the kid is having fun. Is it the responsible thing to do if your catching skills suck? No, but it happens. Are you going to call child support for the parent doing something dumb with the kid one time out of like 20 years of the kid's life? No. Shut the fuck up.
difference that makes that distinction justified? But overall, public response is really not what's important. What's important is the life of that individual themselves. Like, why is it so awful, you know, to kill a dog, for example? You know, an animal we don't really have to get defensive over because we don't include them in our meals. That would be terrible, to see cruel things happening to them, like their
Yes, because we don't eat dogs, therefore for us to comprehend killing a dog makes absolutely no sense because you're not even eating it. It's a wasteful death. Same as like, why are you killing this human being for no reason? That's the same kind of like, we're not, like, there's no benefit in killing this person aside from like you being a sadistic fuck, okay? Don't kill people. You're not eating them. If you're eating them, maybe we'd have a different discussion, right? And by the way, societies that are cannibalistic and do eat other people treat death very differently compared to us. So yes, there is a big difference.
life being taken from them, or them being, confined and harmed in some sort of way. Why? Well, because they have their own lives.
Because there's a cycle, because there's a freaking cycle of life, man. Because some shit was just born to be eaten. Okay? I actually had this theory the other day. What were horses born for? I feel like horses literally exist, because I don't even know if they're in the cycle for anything. Like, if horses disappeared, which ecosystem would suffer for, right? And I feel like horses only exist for us to ride them. But that would be me saying that there is a god that created horses literally for the sole purpose of humans being able to travel long distances over short periods of time before technology, Because I don't really know what part horses play in the ecosystem, but I'm clearly not very educated on this. And I'm not saying that all horses are there for you to ride on, okay? But it feels like, what is the real purpose aside of that,
lives are theirs, they're not ours, and then they get reaped from them. Unfortunately, the same is true for the up to trillion animals we kill every single year. We are talking about a number of animals being decimated that we couldn't even physically conceptualize.
It's World War II
try and imagine
for them.
a trillion of anything, and then just imagine that they are individuals. I don't know if Asmon's ever explored this concept before. I do know that he kind of like...
Even if he did, he wouldn't care. Did you know that... How many people? I think it was like 20 million people died of starvation, I believe, right before or right after World War I. I am not sure. It's like 18 million people or some shit like that. Literally were feeding their children to other children, to like their other children, in order for at least someone from their line, from their blood, to survive and make it to adulthood. And you're talking to me about not eating animals. It depends on the situation. People would even eat people if the situation is bad enough.
Hangs around in the Destiny circle, so you might have seen recently that Destiny had a terrible debate with Vegan Gains, where he performed perhaps the worst he's performed in a long time. It was actually terrible. So
did he though, or it was because his opinion were conflicting your opinions?
Hopefully, if he were one of the people who caught that stream, might have struck a chord with him. But I'm so sure at this point, everyone in the kind of online circle, especially the circle that Asmon's part of, has explored this conversation, but maybe not to the degree that is needed. Because obviously if it's a social norm, then a lot of the time we aren't really expected to, and then we don't go to the lengths to explore it as much as we would need to in order to flesh out whether or not it's actually something that we need to change. However, I do think there is a need to change, because if this steak were a dog, I think you would probably have a huge problem with it, and you...
He wouldn't if it was normal to eat dogs.
would see an imperative to sort that out, because, if you don't sort it out, the result are dogs being killed. And the problem is, if they're a cow, can you really give a justification for why?
Also, by the way, I don't think Asmongold would care if dogs were being killed en masse. It is not a cycle, that it's not a bubble that he cares about. It's a bubble he stays away from. Would he think it's a bad thing? Yes. Would he think it's degenerate? Yes. Would he do anything about it? Would his streams cover it unless it was entertaining? Probably not. Right? Because there's plenty of information about dogs being killed worldwide, like for not good reasons, right? It's like...
why that cow is so much less valuable, that now they can have their entire existence taken from them because you wanted a specific dinner. I really don't think you'll find...
You know what the funniest part about this? The hypocrisy. In this person's mind, animals are more valuable than human beings, and this is why I think that. Animals eat other animals, so animals have the right to kill other animals. That's just nature, right? Humans, however, don't have the right to eat other animals. Because reasons. Now, the argument a person like this would use would be something along the lines of, well, we don't have to eat animals. Actually, yes, you do. Because collagen you can only get from animal sources. So you will never have a 100% sufficient diet unless you eat animals. Done. Well, but you can live without collagen. You can supplement with other stuff. Yes, you can. But what if we couldn't? What if we didn't have the technology to do that? Right? Like, you're talking from such a highly moral fucking ground and such a privileged point. Literally anyone around the world that is starving would look at you and spit in your face, telling me not to eat animals. You're so privileged. Get the fuck out of here.
Find it, and I really hope
That's
that Asmongold
hilarious.
or some of his people see this, people who watch him. It's very unlikely, but, you know, I'm not going to really get anywhere if I don't try at least. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you've ever watched Asmongold, if there's anything that he's ever kind of said pertaining to this topic, because I'm not so familiar with his work that I'm, you know, completely aware of everything he might have said. He might have said some incredibly contradictory things, or even at one point said that he's
of course he did.
considering veganism, but something is stopping him.
Obviously, you gotta turn the bitch over.
No.
By the way, like
No. That's why most people don't want to be vegans.
many other people, he is engaging in rights violations to animals, and
No, he's not.
you know, people don't see that because it's a social norm. And the more we talk about this and the more we kind of question the normality of this, then the quicker the inevitable will change. And I think it will change because it's very uncommon for someone to come along genuinely and say that they just don't care about sentient lives whatsoever. And
It has nothing to do with caring about sentient life. Once it's meat, it's not sentient, it's food.
you know, they're happy for it to be infinitely killed and exploited, you know, for the will of others. It's kind of a weird thing for people to say. So I just think it will absolutely change.
Only if you say it that way, yes.
It's just we need to speed up the process because the consequence of not doing so is too dire to too many.
Oh,
Anyway,
too
I do
dire.
hope you're well.
Too
Thank you
dire.
so much for watching.
Yeah. Humanity will just cease to exist if we keep eating animals. It would just cease to exist, guys. I'm sorry, but like, hey, stop eating meat because like we're gonna just like we're gonna destroy the world. Damn, man, I don't understand vegans. Like, I don't care if you choose to not eat meat. That's fine. I don't care if you make a video saying it's like, this is how I feel after changing to veganism. Here's the studies that show that veganism is good for you and stuff like that. However, literally going out of your way to shame someone, and yes, that is what this person is trying to do. She's trying to shame Asmongold for not caring about animals, for eating meat, and for not being vegan. She's basically shaming him. I do not like people like this. It's the same type of person who's like religious, and it's like, if you're not religious, you're a bad person. Get the fuck out of here. Go. You don't want to eat meat? Good for you. You want to save animals? Good for you. Go and do something about it. Right? And making a video about somebody who's eating meat, who has nothing to do with the meat industry aside from being a consumer. Only one. And also, even if he turned to veganism, he's not going to go out of his way to make other people vegan. I understand that what you're trying to do is like, well, if all the content creators are vegan, then they would influence a lot more people to stop eating meat. Yeah, not going to happen, okay? Like, Christ, man. We need to normalize veganism, guys. It's so good for you. bro, there are way more sick vegan people, like healthy, not unhealthy vegan people than there are meat eaters. You know what actually causes issues? Too much dairy. So on that, I agree with vegans. Less dairy, you would be fine. But meat, meat is never the issue. Unless it's like McDonald's meat, then it's plastic, then it's an issue. But yeah, anyways, that's the reaction. That's Vegan Gaze. Go ahead, give her a like and sub to her channel, because it would be interesting to see more takes of this person. I'm not gonna like and subscribe yet, because I don't know if this person is gonna strike me or not. She does strike me as a more vengeful person, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, anyways. See you on the next one. Peace.